All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Spring 2021 Study Abroad Fair. It's my pleasure to host the session here, a faculty-led cultural anthropology and/or creative writing in China. We have some guest speakers, the two faculty leaders that are going to be running this program during the the summer 2022 term. We have Justin Nichols and Avigdor Edminster. Before I turn it over to them, I'd like to share with you a brief recording. We call it a faculty in three, where Justin and Avigdor kind of talk you through the pros. There aren't really any cons, but it's the pros of this program. So let me get started by airing that for all of you. Bear with me while I share my screen. All right. Let's see if I can do full screen mode here. We should be good to go.
Hi, I'm Justin Nichols, and along with Avigdor Edminster, we will be leading a group of students to China in summer 2022. This program is really unique and affordable for what you get. You can take my course, English 245 Creative Writing. Prerequisites are waived for this summer course with me, which satisfies the arts and humanities gen ed. You can also take Professor Edminster's Anthropology 220. It's a 3-credit cultural anthropology course, which satisfies Res B or GLP or both courses you can take. All while staying for 4 weeks on campus at Northeast Agricultural University in Harbin, which is China's ice city. You'll be studying with your fellow Blue Devils and NEA students, learning how to write and workshop your ideas while also examining American and Chinese literary traditions and themes. Now, I lived in China for 7 years. I still go back, and my experience have always been extremely positive. Some of the highlights I think that you'll enjoy are the art, some of the drama in terms of plays and movies, music, but also the food is going to just blow you away. Now, you won't just stay in the classroom, as you can tell. You'll go out with your new NEAU friends, Chinese Stout students and other students who go with us there on a weekday excursion each week, and you'll get to explore the area each Saturday with me and Avigdor and other fellow Stout students. You saw the locations listed on the program slide. Some of them are shown in the photos. Like I mentioned, I lived in China and speak some Chinese, so I'm very happy to be your guide through these areas. We'll also have Chinese friends there with us, showing us how to get around and what to eat. Some of the things we're going to be seeing is the Harbin Confucian Temple, Jilisi Temple of Bliss, the NEAU History Museum, Sun Island, and other places. Now, if you're interested, please reach out to me at nicholsj@uwstout.edu or the Study Abroad office at studyabroad@uwstout.edu, or check out the program's description on the website, UW-Stout.studioabroad.com. There you can also see the cost estimate. And by the way, if you choose to take both courses, you can also apply for financial aid. We can't wait to hear from you. And that's your faculty in 3.
Hi, I'm Julie Best.
Great, thank you so much. Let me just get off of the share screen. There we are. We are back. Thank you so much for that great overview, great introduction, Justin. Any questions we'd like to have for you? I know we have one student on the line who also happens to be an assistant in our office, Brett Von Ruden. Brett, if you have any questions, feel free to send them toward Justin and Avigdor. This is a great opportunity. I'll get started though. Justin, what is you think for our students, someone who hasn't been to China in the past, what are some of the most exciting takeaways that they'll get by participating in this experience? I know the food you mentioned in that faculty in 3, and of course some of these really amazing sites. But what else? What can we expect from this experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think just what struck me was really how friendly our hosts always were, and proud of what their university, what their town, has to offer. And when I mentioned in that faculty in three, there were some amazing experiences I had seeing different kinds of uh, performances in terms of Chinese kung fu is something that sometimes you'll see in different ceremonies at the beginning, and I didn't realize that there are some youngsters who can go to a kung fu school, a boarding type school, where they do their studies and they spend a good chunk of their lives, learning and living, sort of kung fu. This was pretty amazing to me. For folks living in China, it's just another day. When I was there, I was a little bit younger and a little more spry, but I took advantage. I tried to learn a little bit of some martial arts and stuff, and I just remember sometimes I'd be walking in one direction with some, kind of kung fu gear, learning. And in the other direction, I'd see some of my students dribbling a basketball, going the other way to shoot some hoops. So it was kind of like we were learning from what the world had to offer, and sampling. So that I think that's something that I found very interesting. I also tried to really learn Chinese as much as I could. It is a challenge, but I knew so many people who, when they dedicated their time, they realized that even though it's challenging to learn any language, with some hard work and dedication, and then being there and practicing it, it comes faster than you might think it will, right? We might not be fluent as some people who dedicate years and years are, but you can learn enough and even learn to read. And that was something that I found very valuable. I sometimes got tutors to help me with Chinese and things of that nature. So yeah, and then I will just have to go back to the food. Just the variety, the cost. From my perspective, was extremely affordable to have an amazing meal with friends usually, right? And so I guess those are the things that just come to mind right off the bat there.
Sure. Yeah. Having been to China a couple times, I know how important food is and how proud the people are of the food, and it's certainly an experience. I honestly love the environment, sitting around a round table and having this shared meal together, where conversation is free flowing and just deliciousness all around. So thank you so much for sharing some of that insight. Avigdor, I know this is your first experience going to China to lead a faculty-led program, obviously in good company with Justin. What are you looking most forward to from this experience?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Scott. And good to see you, Justin. I'm absolutely looking forward to working with students to learn about cross-cultural life and experiences in a deeply cross-cultural and multicultural environment. So we've all talked about this a little bit before, but for those people who will be watching this later, Harbin is uniquely situated already in terms of its history of Russian migration, and in particular Russian Jewish migration as a hub and the Trans-Siberian Railroad. It's got this really amazing syncretic mixed history. And to be bringing a group of students from Stout to work with students and faculty in China is just such a powerful context for talking about those things that we most take for granted as cultural beings. We think, however I do this, this is the way it is, right? What I think is beautiful or good or right or tasty or yucky or weird, that's life, that's normal. And what we do in cultural anthropology is say, yeah, it is, but there's a lot of normals out there, and yours is just one version. So to get to do this together in such a richly cross-cultural context is going to be so fun and so cool. And we'll be learning that stuff both in the textbook and the articles and all the conversations, but in that really fine-grained daily life way that you only learn when you're traveling, when you realize you've really put your foot in it, or that you're watching something that's completely blowing your mind and you have to talk to somebody about it. If you're lucky, someone explains it to you. So all those experiences are going to be so cool. I'm also really looking forward to, Justin, you really talked up this food thing, and I'm a total foodie. So I'll be brave, and I'm going to take all your hints on what we should do and eat.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. And I think actually mixing creative writing with cultural anthropology, I mean, as someone who's also, I write and I do art and stuff, I mean, I'm all about this anyway, but that's going to be so fun for all the students, such a rich way to engage with cultural life and different perspectives and expressing their experiences. Yeah.
That as you were talking to Avigdor, that's what I was thinking about as well, how these classes go together, because I know that I'm gonna benefit so much from talking to you about all of our experiences going through this program there. And that just kind of, I think, reflects, that we're all learners here, moving, along our paths here. But then the way that the classes, I think, will go together nicely. I think that'll be nice, because it is true. One of the thing, and that's how I'm sort of delivering this creative writing class, is that it's a chance for us to focus the, I guess, kind of literary resources that are there for creative writing on our lives in particular, in some ways. So creative nonfiction that comes through in stories and other, poetry, drama, that kind of stuff. I really want students to kind of explore that. And so I think, I just want to second that idea that these classes are going to go nicely together.
I think one of the other really, really great opportunities here is that the students that we're interacting with at NEAU, Northeast Agricultural University, they are Stout students. They're starting their experience there in China, and they're soon to come over to the U.S. So it's going to be a great opportunity for us to be cultural ambassadors and sharers in the Chinese setting, and then on the flip side, when the students come here, to be able to kind of showcase all that the United States and Menominee, Wisconsin has to offer. So it's going to be a great opportunity to create new friendships that will, without a doubt, last a lifetime. So very, very excited for both of you to take part in this program, as well as for our students. This is an amazing experience. Brett, any questions that you have after hearing a little bit more about the program itself, the courses that are going to be offered?
I guess that was a lot of information, but so like, what should the students expect when they arrive? Like, do you guys all travel together, or how does that all work?
Yeah, so it is a process traveling from, Menominee to our ultimate destination, right? We're going to take a couple flights, one very long one. And so I envision that we're all going to be definitely following the buddy system. We're going to be helping each other get through it smoothly. But yeah, I imagine being there, every step of the way with students as we travel, Avigdor and I. And I think Avigdor and I have spoken too. When we're there, we're also going to have a little extra role of making sure everyone's into their living spaces, with everything they need, and we're sort of on call to some degree in helping students get through any kinds of obstacles that may pop up here or there. So yeah, I envision this being we're a team going there, having a very powerful learning experience, and then we're going to be coming back, our group. But then, like Scott said, we're going to have a number of students coming and staying here for years, where we can then continue, our conversations. And I just imagine sometimes, as I'm looking out at Stout campus, having groups of students that we just saw in China coming here. It's going to be so amazing.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and I know for many Stout students, a faculty-led experience like this is a great way to get started in terms of seeing the world and having these experiences firsthand. Very, very well planned in terms of where you'll be going, where you'll be staying, what you'll be seeing. You'll probably have some options with regard to what you'll be eating. And I know Avigdor's culinary adventurous, and as we all should be, in a different environment. But it's just one of those fantastic opportunities where you don't have to do a lot of the guesswork. It's already been planned very thoroughly by our partners in China, by our office, and then our collaboration with Justin and Avigdor. So a great question there, Brett. Any other questions? Great opportunity. Maybe you're interested in joining this program, Brett.
I don't think I got any more, Scott. Sorry.
No pressure.
Okay, fantastic. Well, any I know that we still have a few more minutes, but any parting words? I know we I'm certainly very excited. I wish I could be going along in this program, and you've really brought out some of the real interesting aspects. Justin, your familiarity with Chinese language and culture will be instrumental in preparing our students before we go. One of the things I also want to share is that we're trying to put forth some additional scholarship funding in collaboration with the Chinese Embassy. Here's a question for you, Justin, and perhaps you can answer this, and Avigdor, feel free to chime in too. I know that in recent years, the tensions between the United States and China have gotten pretty significant, and we've seen trade wars, we've seen some pretty ugly rhetoric. Should we anticipate any challenges in terms of our interactions with people because of where we're from when we're on the ground in China? And then talk a little bit more to safety too. What should we expect in that regard as well?
So I have some Chinese family, and so once in a while these topics have come up, and I would say that nothing is taken personally in terms of the political angles. And that's my perspective. So I don't think that any kind of trade or economic clashes like that will really fall into spilling over into any personal thing. Now, in my experience being there, I was always struck by how relatively safe it is, or it always was, for me. And when I lived in China, I lived with a group of about 100 American teachers who we lived in dorms. So and I was able to hear a lot of anecdotal stories too. When you do of course, we're not going to be staying out past 3 a.m., that kind of stuff, where anywhere in the world, you may not be in a situation that's smart. But, for daily encounters and all that, I don't think that should be a worry at all. And I think a lot of the different data and statistics that students can look up in terms of, crime and things like that, they'll find that, especially in the conditions we're going to be in on a student campus, with all that support, that isn't really I don't think that should be an issue that should worry anybody.
Great. And that's been my realization as well, over the last few years and working with partners from China. When you get to know people, you realize that politics and people are two very different things. And, there's a genuine interest in having them putting, they're very hospitable, and for them to welcome us to their country is just a really unique and an amazing opportunity. Likewise, when we welcome them, we want to do the same and reciprocate in a similar fashion. So I honestly don't think there should be any worry, and I'm glad that was in line with your experience as well. So anything that you'd like to add on that note, Avigdor?
I'm having a lot of thoughts, Scott, but I feel like they're still in the emergent stage, so not for a pithy, quick video.
Okay.
We'll talk more. We'll continue to revisit that. I mean, I think that interface between state politics and how that plays out on the ground with real everyday people is part of what we're going to be talking about in the class. I mean,
great.
How do we navigate political perceptions? I mean, in Menominee and in China, everywhere. Yeah.
Great. Well, we really appreciate your time. I know that Justin had another commitment that looks like he had to run off to, which is perfectly fine. But this recording, this video, this session is being recorded, and I know that with the Study Abroad Fair being a 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. endeavor, we can't fit everybody's schedule all at once. So I appreciate your time, and I know that this will be widely seen, and we'll have significant interest as we build up to summer of 2022. So thanks again for joining us, and you've got me hooked. I want to go with you if I can.
You should, Scott. We'd love to have you. Thanks for all your work, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks again. Yep. Take care. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.